Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Let's take a look at how the footer tile system works. This is an old system, terracotta tile, but it's exactly the same as today. Before we begin the video, it's really helpful to see how this system is set up and how it works. These are field tile. They're terracotta pipes. They're 1 foot long and they just butt together down in the trench. Take a look.
Got our trench. We're going to put some gravel in the bottom. A good base. Next, we go ahead and spread that gravel so the pipe can set level in the trench. Now we're going to lay our old terracotta. It just sits in the trench on top of the gravel and butts together. The pipe just sits in the trench on top of the gravel, and there's seams. And the way the system works is that as water comes down from above, it's not going to drop in here. It's going to go through all the gravel, flood up into the seams of each section of pipe, and the pipe carries it away. The water also flows through the gravel. So you can see that if you have your holes, today's pipe has holes in it, and if you have that holes pointing upward, that water has to flood all the way up to here before it begins to flow. Granted, some water does flow through gravel, but we'll cover this up and give it a test. We're going to add gravel just like it would be down in the ground. Next, we're going to simulate the rain with our garden hose. Just let it run right here. I'm just going to stick it down in the ground so you can see. So we've got water running into the trench. And in just a few seconds, we've got water running into the trench, and you can see that water coming out of the pipe. It's flooding up through the gravel, and it's also coming through the gravel underneath as well, but most of the water comes through the seam of the pipe.
On this home where we excavated these tiles, all they did was butt them together. They put no gravel in the trench. They just laid the tiles and covered it up. But you know what? It worked for 60 years before it finally gave way.
We
So
are
let's take a look.
exposing the footer tile, and we're going to clear this off and pull out these little pieces of tile. Notice that usually right along the house, of course, you're always going to find things that you have to dig under or over. These are cable wires, hundreds of them. The corrugated pipe that you see is actually a downspout drain. Notice that they're in the same trench basically. More than likely when the downspout was put in, they broke these pipes. You see how full that piece of tile is of mud? It's just slap full. You can see the water just comes pouring out of that pipe after we open that up. Basically what we're doing is we're going to give this footer tile system discharge to daylight. And that means that it's going to run downhill until it comes out on top of the ground.
The real secret to keeping your system working for a long, long time is gravel. It's not fabric, it's gravel. If you surround that pipe with a good gravel, that is the fabric. It keeps the debris out of your system. And it also allows the water to flood up into your pipe and be carried away. And you see, as I pull these tiles out, that water begins to flow because they are totally blocked. So we're going to go ahead and trench this on out down the hill until the water discharges on top of the ground. If you have any questions about footer tiles, please send us an email or put it in the comments box below.
Simulate it with today's pipe, and you can see there's holes on the one side of the pipe. This is the perforation. These holes point down. We'll set that into the trench. As it rains, water comes down through the gravel and floods up into your pipe. And it will enter those holes which are on the bottom. If those holes are pointing upward, that water has to rise all the way up here before it can enter the hole. So we put our holes pointing down, and now we're going to cover it up with gravel. Now let's just simulate by putting our garden hose out here and see how long it takes for the water to get through the pipe, through the gravel. Pretty good rainfall. We're adding water to the gravel. The water goes down through the gravel to the bottom of the trench and will eventually begin to flow. It flows through the gravel first because there are voids in the gravel, but as we add more water directly, it will start to flow through the pipe. And that's why holes point down. You can see the water coming through the holes. Floods up from the bottom of the trench into the pipe and is carried away. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.